So this video was supposed to come out like 3 weeks ago, but as soon as I started researching, I found out that apparently this one movie is connected to two other movies, and then I also wanted to talk about those two other movies, and then that turned into a whole script about three different movies, and then I realized that script was too long, so then I had to cut it back to just one movie. So we're back to the original idea. So the three movies in question are Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. These three movies make up the Cornetto trilogy, which is a hilariously constructed trilogy about immaturity and growing up. The first movie in this trilogy is Shaun of the Dead, which came out in 2004, which makes me feel so old. But today we're going to be talking about that movie. So go ahead, grab a beer. Shit. So go ahead, grab a beer, and let's talk about this movie. So the three flavor cornetto got its name from the ice cream brand Cornetto and its ice cream cones. So it all started during the promotion of Shaun of the Dead, where in one of the trailers they used a clip from the movie where they eat Cornetto ice cream cones, and this led to writers Edgar Wright and Sean Pegg to receive free ice cream from Cornetto. In an attempt to receive more free ice cream, they added Cornetto to the second film, Hot Fuzz, but this was unfortunately a failed attempt. In an interview for Hot Fuzz during the production of World's End, an interviewer asked Edgar Wright the reason for the use of cornetto in both of the films, to which Edgar Wright jokingly replied that it represented a trilogy compared to Krzysztof Kieslowski's three-color film. This led Edgar Wright to add cornetto into the final film, World's End, if only as a wrapper in the wind at the end of the movie. Each film, whether intentionally or unintentionally, contains a specific cornetto flavor that signifies each movie's themes. Shaun of the Dead, the first of our films, uses a strawberry flavored cornetto to signify its bloody and gory elements. Each film follows the same themes of individuals in the collective, growing up, and the dangers of perpetual adolescence. So, Shaun of the Dead starts off right away with the problem of the film. Shaun is irresponsible and immature. He is hanging out at a bar with his girlfriend, and we find out very quickly that this is the only place where he takes her. Not only that, but he always brings his friend, which forces her to bring her friends. So it's always an awkward situation. We also learn that even in their anniversary, they came here to celebrate. Liz tells Shaun that she doesn't always want to be coming to this one place, so he promises to book a reservation to a nice restaurant and start taking her to different places.
I understand what you're trying to say, okay, and I agree. We should get out there. We'll start tomorrow. All right, I'll book a restaurant. You know, the place that does all the fish. Just the two of us. Things will change. Promise.
Really, Shaun?
We move forward to the next day where Shaun goes to work, and we meet Philip, his stepdad, and we learn from Philip that Shaun is constantly forgetting to go visit his mother, and on top of that, he also forgot about Mother's Day. Shaun goes to buy flowers, and in the process forgets to make the reservation for Liz, and Liz ends up breaking it off. In order to apologize, Shaun goes to her apartment and gives her the flowers that are clearly labeled "to a wonderful mom," which only pisses her off more. This causes Shaun to go out drinking with his friend Ed, and they go to the same bar as usual, the good old Winchester. The following day, hungover, he wakes up to go to the store and completely misses all the little hints that there's a zombie apocalypse going on, which is honestly hilarious. Until him and his friend Ed find out that a girl snuck into the backyard, and in the confrontation, they end up accidentally pushing her over, which is where they realize that she's a zombie. So this gets the movie started. The plan now is to gather up his loved ones and go to the Winchester because it has nice big heavy doors and it's pretty secure. He tries to call Liz, but in the process his mom calls him and he remembers that he has a mom basically.
Babe. Oh, she's engaged. That was quick. Ed, this is serious. Liz!
Shaun!
Mum, hi. I was going to call you. Are you okay?
So from this phone call we find out that Philip, his stepdad, was bitten in the hand.
Did you try the police?
Well, I thought about it.
Well, are you okay? Did they hurt you?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Mum?
Well, they were a bit bitey.
Mum, have you been bitten?
No, but Philip has.
Oh, okay. Has she been bitten? No, Philip has. Oh, okay.
So Shaun makes this elaborate plan about how he's gonna go pick up his mom and kill his stepdad and then grab Liz and take everybody to the Winchester and they're gonna have a great old time. However, when he gets to his mom's house, he finds out that Philip is not only not a zombie yet, but he's not looking the best as is. And on the process of getting out of there, Philip gets bitten again. So after this, Shaun goes to pick up Liz and her two friends, and they all cram into this little car and start heading towards the Winchester. On the way there, however, we get one of the scenes that, in my opinion, starts to shape Shaun into the person he will become and sets off this journey of maturity that he goes through. So at this point, Shaun and friends are speeding down the road on their way to the Winchester. Philip takes this moment, most likely knowing that this is his end, to explain to Shaun the reason why he's been so tough on him his entire life. See, Shaun lost his father at a young age, and when Philip came into his life, he only wanted to give Shaun a role model, a person to look up to, and he didn't want Shaun to give up because his father was dead. This death hit Shaun harder than expected. Unfortunately, he doesn't have time to mourn, since Philip promptly turns into a zombie and causes all of them to have to leave the car. Now, carless, weaponless, and surrounded, they are forced to make their way through the alleyways. So now our group is on foot and they start heading through the alleyways in order to make it to the bar. There's a small confrontation with the zombie and they end up pinning him to a tree. After pinning the zombie to the tree, they realize that there's a giant horde of zombies in front of the bar. As an attempt to get around them, their plan is to act like zombies and walk their way towards the front. This goes wrong when Shaun ends up blowing up at his friend Ed. He's tired of making up excuses for him towards everybody else. Shaun ends up having to distract the zombies and lead them away so that everybody else can get into the bar. Once inside, the tensions are high and everybody's a little pissed off. They don't really know what's going on, they don't really know why they're there, and they don't really want to be there. Shaun finally returns, telling everybody he gave the zombies the slip. In an attempt to figure out what's going on, they try to turn on the television, which leads to them figuring out that the zombies never really got let away. They end up following Shaun right back to the bar. This leads to a pretty funny scene where they end up having to fight the owner of the bar, who is now a zombie, to the song Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. Once that is over, every other zombie starts to break into the bar, and now their job is just to try to keep them out. During this commotion, however, we find out that Barbara was bit during the altercation with the zombie in the alleyway. This leads to Shaun having to shoot his own mother, and subsequently each one of them start getting picked off one by one. At the end, the remaining three are Shaun and Liz, and Ed, who is currently bit. They decide to leave Ed behind and go out onto the streets. Thankfully, the military shows up and saves the day. One thing I want to talk about the most is the death of Shaun's parents. The first being Philip. Shaun was never too close to Philip. As a matter of fact, earlier in the film, his plan was to just kill off Philip when picking up his mom. It was this death that jump-started Shaun's maturity. We see this as he finally tells off Ed and takes full control as leader of this group. The death of both his parents is what caused Shaun to realize how fragile life and relationships really are. He was taking life for granted, almost living unintentionally like a zombie, forgetting to do things for the people he cared about, forgetting literally about the people he cared about. In a weird way, this zombie apocalypse, which usually ends up breaking people's lives apart, ended up putting his together. In the end of the film, we get a nice scene that shows us that the world is moving on even with the zombies. Now there's comedy shows that involve zombies, and we see Shaun and Liz living a happy life in their house. Shaun of the Dead gives us a story about a guy whose life is basically falling apart due to his own immaturity. It's a movie that if you haven't seen, I really recommend you watch. I know I might have spoiled a lot of it, but trust me, I don't do it justice with this commentary. Like I said, I will be making a video on the next two films within the next couple of weeks, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and subscribe. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns on future things that I should talk about or things that you want me to talk about, go ahead and leave them down in the comment section. As always, it's been Yuki. I hope you guys have a great day.